Hi there, welcome back. So you ready for your second piano lesson? Have you been practicing? Okay, good. I'm glad to hear that. Let's just do a quick review of what we learned last week. Can you show me a C major chord? Very good. Okay. Can you do a D major chord, please? Yes, excellent. Okay, go ahead and do E major. And F. G. Very good. A. Do you remember B? Yes, that one has two black notes. And back to C. Excellent. I'm so glad that you remembered all that. Very good. Okay, today I'm just going to introduce you to minor chords, which are pretty essential to music. Now you can think of major chords as sounding happier, and you can think of minor chords as being sad. Do you hear the difference? Okay, so for a minor chord, what we're going to do is lower the third, which just means we're lowering the third note being played down a half step. For instance, if you're playing a C major chord, the third note is E right here. 1, 2, 3. We're going to lower it a half step down to this D sharp E flat. Okay? A simple way to remember the lowered third is that if we played a chord with no black key, we're going to add a black key, or if there was a black key, it's going to be no black key. You see? So we go from C to C minor, and D to D minor, E, E minor, F, just move it up, and lower the third, G, lower the third, A major, lower the third, and then we get to B, and B is always a bit different because there are two, but if we're lowering the third, here's the third, it's the note in the middle, lower it a half step down to this D, and you have B minor. It's very depressing sounding. So there you go. Those are your minor chords. They should be a little bit easier to remember since they're in the same positions as all the chords you learned earlier, but you just lower the third. Okay? Alright. The next something quick I wanted to talk to you about is chord inversions, inverted chords. And they might seem a little confusing at first, but I promise you after this lesson, you will fully understand how chord inversions work. And this will help you playing when you're sight reading, or if you're just playing a song, okay? So, here's how I'm going to teach you. This is a C major chord, right? C, E, G. C, E, G, C. Or C, E, just C, C. Okay, it's always the same place. Now what we can do is we can invert this chord. And it doesn't have to start with this C right here. It could start with this E but it could still contain all the notes, which is C, E, G. But instead of being C, E, G, if we start with E, it's going to be E, G, yes, C. And it still sounds like a C major chord, C. And in the same way, what other note can we start with? G, G, C, E. And we're just inverting the chord. So we went from C, E, G to E, G, C to G, C, E, and back to C, E, G. Do you understand how that works? I know it's a little confusing at first, but trust me, you will fully understand. For instance, maybe you saw someone playing piano and they played a song like this. Or like this. Well, it sounds like a D major chord, right? But it didn't start on D. They started on an A. Well, it still is a D, it's just inverted. Instead of being D, F sharp, A, it's A, D, F sharp. In the same way, you can start with F sharp, A, D. That's how chord inversions work. They're not so scary. Nothing about the piano is too scary. Okay, so look at all you've learned. You've learned from major to minor chords, and you've learned chord inversions. So I went from major, F, to F minor. Okay? And the next thing I'm going to teach you is sevenths. We're cramming a lot to this lesson, I know, but you're very intelligent and you can get this. So sevenths. 1, 3, 5, 7. That's a seventh note. If we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, you say, hold on, this B is the 7, not this black note here. Well, this is a major seventh. This right here, playing this B, this is a major seventh. Lower that a half step, and you get just a plain seventh. It's really confusing. It confused me at first too, but guess the difference between a seventh chord like a G7 and a G major 7. Very confusing. Have I told you about sharps and flats? Alright, well, in case I didn't, this will just be review for you if I did. But you've probably heard maybe this note right here being called a C sharp. Have you heard that? Okay, so C sharp, and then what is this? Do you know? D sharp. Excellent. So whatever the note is to the right of this note is a C, so it's a C sharp. To the to the left of this one is a D sharp. Okay, so to the right of this F, we have an F sharp. To the right of this G, we have a G sharp. Excellent. And to the right of this A, yep, it's an A sharp. Okay, but now, what about flats? You're right. When we're going back down this way, to the left of the note, that's what we're going to call it a flat. So this B, to the left of it, you have a B flat. And to the left of this A, we have an A flat. To the left of this G, we have a G flat. And to the to the E, it's an E flat. To the left of the D, it's a D flat. Very good. So now you're saying, well, is this a C sharp or D flat? It's both. But usually if you're moving up this way, you would call it a sharp, and you're moving down that way, it would be a flat. So that's why when someone's singing, if they're a little bit above pitch, you would say they're sharp, or if they're a little bit below pitch, they're flat. You understand? So when we're saying we're doing a D, you would usually say that in the middle of the third note is a D sharp, but you could technically say that it's a G flat too, but you wouldn't hear most people call it that. However, you would hear most people call this a B flat, and instead of an E sharp, it's more common. Alright, now if I asked you to locate a key on the keyboard, do you think you could do that for me? Okay, good. Can you show me where an E flat is? Very good. And show me an A flat. Very good. A C sharp. And a G flat. And an E sharp. Did you think I tricked you? Because there's no black key? Well, technically, an E sharp, moving up half a step, would be an F. But I don't think you'll ever hear anyone call E sharp F. Or F flat and E. You would just say E and F for these two keys. Okay? And the same way works with these B and C. A B sharp would be a C, and a C flat would be a B. Okay? It's not a trick. Now that I've introduced you to all these wonderful black keys here, you can bet that there will be chords for each of those. And there will be minor chords, all that. Okay, but we're not going to worry about that today. Now, one last thing I'm going to teach you is suspended chords. Yes, one more thing, suspended chords. Alright? But these are also very useful in playing things. Now, if you're ever looking at music and you come across something that says C, S, U, S, C, sus, okay, that means a C suspended chord, which you would usually resolve into C. Now, a suspended chord is either usually playing the second or the fourth note in a chord. 1, 3, 5, the second and the fourth are in between. Right? This is the second and a C. This is the fourth note and a C. So usually when saying C sus, it would be talking about the fourth. If it says C2 or C sus2, then it does mean the second. Sometimes you can use them interchangeably. So if you see C sus, you'd play it like this. And it sounds very pretty, right? And it usually would be followed by, let's say, C sus, C. Resolve it. Or if we see C sus 2, C. Alright, same with D major. The second So 1, 2. And the 4 is right here. 1, 2, 3, 4. E. And F. G. A major. A2. And B. Back C. Alright. Do you think you can remember all of that? Let's do a quick review of what we did. We learned minor chords. So go ahead and play any minor chord. Just whichever one you want. F minor, very good. We also talked about sharps and flats. So go ahead and show me a D sharp. Very good. D into the right, up half step. We talked about sevenths and major sevenths very briefly. That's just something I just want to lightly cover. So go ahead and show me a C7 and followed by a C major seventh. And the C major seven. Very pretty. A minor 7. I believe it's an A minor major 7. It's one of my favorite chords for some reason. I like that chord. I think they're very pretty. Okay, and we also talked about suspended chords. So play a D suspended, resolve it, play D suspended 2, and resolve that. Very good. I'm very proud of you. Okay, you practiced that. And I also want you to be looking at pieces of music that you're interested in or that you want to play, a song you like, something like that, okay? And bring it in and we'll start to learn it, or you can start to work on it by yourself, okay? Alright, that's all for today. So you practice, okay? And I will see you next time.